Hey, my name is Kevin, and this is something called Talking Sleds. It's kind of a podcast type of deal, if you want to put it in that sort of label. It is with this new game that's in demo right now called the Sledding game or Sledding game. It's either the Sledding game or Sledding game, but you're playing as this little frog guy and you sled, and that's kind of the whole game. So let's get on this chairlift and I can kind of introduce myself. So I came up with this idea I saw a post on TikTok about this guy who's making a game called the Sledding game where you play these little frogs. And I was like, oh, that would be super fun to just, like chill out, sled around, maybe have some friends, just, chit chat with some people and not necessarily trying to, play a super intense game. And then I kind of started thinking like, oh, what if it was like a podcast format where I literally just record conversations with people that I find interesting or just my friends. And that's where I kind of was like, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna make, a YouTube channel with it, get the domains, do all that sort of things, and then maybe I'll remember it when the game kind of fully releases. Well, the game isn't fully released yet, but it is in demo right now. And I saw the post literally yesterday about how it's coming back to demo or coming to demo. And I was like, oh, I had that idea. Let me actually download it and give it a shot. But the premise of the game is you just sled, you get points, try not to crash, like what I just did right there, and you can spend points that you earn. I don't really fully know. I'm literally just loaded in, went up once just to see how the game worked, and then I just started recording. But yeah, that's kind of the premise of the game and what this sort of show, I guess, is. I don't really know. I didn't really have any rough plans for it other than just coming on here every once in a while, talking to some of my friends, maybe just rambling about my life, as boring as that is for some people to listen to. But, some people might find it interesting, and I think it could be kind of like a good outlet just for myself. Speaking of myself, I will introduce myself. So I'm Kevin. I'm 24. And I just recently graduated from college, which I'm very proud about. And my mom was very proud about for me. I think she's more proud of me than I am of myself. But I went into art school. Shocker for someone making something, I guess, creative. But I went to film school. And that wasn't initially my first plan when I sort of graduated high school. I originally wanted to go into psychology and do some sort of therapy, some sort of practice where I could like help people. But got into college. Halfway through my first year in college, COVID hit. And I did not like online school. I did not find it very beneficial for me. I felt like I was kind of just, when I was in the classroom, I felt like I was actually learning and digesting and actually wanting to strive forward and learn more. But once I went to online, I just kind of stopped caring about the work, like how I cared about it before. And I didn't like that. So I dropped out and then moved to Colorado for about a year. Then I worked in tech for that time. One of my friends kind of got me a job at that point, working at the company he worked at. It was super fun, and I had a really great time there. But that's when I discovered that really I wanted to go into film, because I had always done photography growing up. Always had, messed around with my mom's VHS camera. That was our little like family home video VHS camera. And me and my brother would make little short films or just filmed us goofing off, or I skateboarded a lot as a kid and I would make skate videos with my friends. And I kind of dove back into that passion while I was in Colorado because, well, I mean, I guess I never really gave it up. It was more the video side that I gave up, less than the pictures, because I still always took pictures, but I didn't like necessarily find video again until I was in Colorado. And then I wound up spending more time making videos and taking pictures, like just experimenting with how the camera works, how to frame things, how to frame people, how to light, more than I was actually doing my job. Because when I was doing my job, it was a at-home job, shocker, during COVID. For those of you who have worked in the tech world, especially at an at-home job, sometimes, you know, your work can take longer than 8 hours, or sometimes your work can take you, you know, 2 hours. And so me and my roommate we would sometimes get done like at the same time and just play video games. And then when I would get done earlier than him, that's when I started going outside and like experimenting with the camera, and kind of that blossomed the idea of, oh, maybe I don't want to do this the rest of my life sitting behind a desk, you know, answering tickets in IT and tech. And that's when I decided to kind of quit my job all of a sudden and then move back home. I don't even think I had applied to film school at that point. So I decided to just do that and roll with it. And here I am today. So yeah, that's kind of the story of how I got into film school. Don't know if you necessarily wanted to know that, but I gave you that information anyways. That's something, I guess I can talk about that, but that's something that I kind of struggle with sometimes, is that I'm a little bit of a rambler, and that's something that I kind of want to reel back in and be more conscious about how much I'm talking, just talking at someone. You know, I feel like I don't do that poor of a job of, you know, conversating with someone, but sometimes I just start to ramble, especially if it's something that I'm super interested in. And I don't necessarily like talking at someone. I want to have a conversation with someone, because that's something that I've learned, is that I can learn something from everyone that I interact with. And so I feel self-conscious about hogging up all that time with myself when I want to conversate with the person that I'm, you know, having a conversation with, which is, you know, kind of the whole point of a conversation. Can you go ice fishing in this? Oh. Okay. You can make a snowball. Sorry, this is my first time playing this game and really kind of exploring. What is that? What? Is this luging? Is that what it's called? I can't remember. What? Oh, that's cool. And there's also cornhole. That's pretty cool. I don't know how much time I want to take up with this first episode. That's kind of just an introductory. I guess I could talk about what I want to go to, like what career path I want to go to in the film industry. So I want to be a cinematographer. So I want to be the person in charge of the camera and lighting team and the overall look of the film. So that's really what I fell in love with when I went into film school. I thought maybe, I wanted to be a director, I wanted to be an editor, because those were, you know, simultaneously shooting all of the stuff that I was creating. I was also the person, you know, directing it, and I was also the person editing it. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll be a director, or maybe I'll be an editor. Found out that I do not like directing, mostly because I do not like writing. I think that's a big thing. and I do not like sitting in front of a computer all of the time. Well, that's not, maybe that's a lie, because I do like playing video games and I like sitting in front of my computer a lot, but I really enjoy being on set and working. And so that's kind of about a year ago, year and a half ago, that's kind of what I realized I wanted to do. And I've kind of just fully fledged into it, fully dove into, you know, wanting to be a cinematographer. And I love it. Like, it's learning about light and learning about how to place the camera, how color works, how all of that stuff works, just really makes something happy in my brain. And I love when everything comes together. And I love the puzzle that it can sometimes be. And I really, really love collaboration. And that's something that I've found the most fun in working in film, is just the collaborative effort that it takes to make either a short film, a commercial, a feature film, a spec. It really takes a village, and that village is your producers, starting in pre-production all the way to the editors and sound designers in the post-production process. So that's something that really, really makes me enjoy working in film, is just the collaborative effort and feeling a part of a team. Because I think it really comes from me being in team sports all throughout growing up. I started playing soccer when I was, I played soccer when I was like 5, and then I stopped playing soccer, but I played t-ball, I played basketball, lacrosse, did swim for a season, and then I played football I played youth football for like 2 seasons, and then eventually I found out about this thing called cheerleading, competitive cheerleading, actually, to be more precise, I guess, because there's a very big difference between, high school cheerleading and competitive cheerleading. And I fell in love with that during high school, and that's what I did all throughout high school, and I continued coaching after I graduated high school. When I was in college, I ended up not cheering in college because of sports-related injuries, and then COVID kind of just shut all of that down for me. But being part of a team, really, I really enjoy that, and I feel really fulfilled when it's one large group effort towards a common goal, especially to make, like, when it's something that you work so hard towards, and it's all for a commonality of doing your best to get to the final product. That's something that I really enjoy. Yeah, but I think I don't really know where else to go with this other than just mindless rambling. This was kind of just supposed to be, like a short introduction of what this show is and a little bit about myself. And I think I may have gone a little bit too intense, but that's kind of basically it. Very excited about this game. It's really fun. This character's really cute. He has a little butt crack type of deal. And there's a lot of stuff for me to explore. Like, there's these cannons here, and there's targets. I'm assuming you hit yourself with the cannons, or launch yourself into the targets with the cannons. And there's stuff you can do to customize your character. I don't know. I kind of like this little green guy just by himself. But yeah, I think that's it until I talk to you once again. Maybe I'll have someone on here. Maybe it'll be just me with a current life situation that I'm just wanting to ramble about. But that's it. Thanks for watching. All right. I'll see you later.